Hello Rebels, it is Mardi Gras week and we are cooking up some chicken gumbo. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start our recipe. And for this recipe you will need 2/3 of a cup of vegetable oil, some Tabasco, 1 cup of flour. This is 1 pound of andouille sausage that has been just cut up into rounds. You can use kielbasa, you can use smoked sausage, beef sausage, whatever you like. If you choose to use a less spicy sausage, you may need to add a little more Tabasco or a little more Cajun spice. This is my spice blend that I use. It is 2 teaspoons of Tony Creole seasoning, a little salt, some onion powder and some garlic powder, about a teaspoon of each. And then these are 2 chicken breasts that I boiled to make my stock. I'm going to pull the meat off of these and shred it to put in my chicken gumbo. Now, if you happen to like veg, you totally can add veg to this. Unfortunately, in my house, we don't have a lot of veg eaters, and nobody likes okra but me. So we keep it really simple around here. So the first thing I'm doing here is I have my sausage in my big stock pot. And I am just going to brown the sausage up over medium-high heat. It is a dry pan. I did not add any oil or anything to the bottom of this pan because remember, the sausage will in fact bleed some oil out of itself, so you really don't need to add additional fat at this stage. If you did not have a stock or you're using truly a cheater stock that doesn't have any mirepoix in it, now would be the time that you're going to add those mirepoix vegetables. So carrots, onions, celery, or if you're using Cajun mirepoix, it's onions, celery, and bell pepper. My stock already has it in it, but if you decide that that is not the way you want to go, this is when you go ahead and cook down those veggies as well. So it's been about 2 minutes and our sausage is nice and brown, and we're going to go ahead and take this out and add our oil and flour to the same pan to make our roux. At this point, go ahead and turn your heat down to medium-low. Nice brown sausage. So now we're going to go ahead and go back to the pan. Have the heat on medium-low. We're going to add 2/3 of a cup of vegetable oil. Regular vegetable oil, guys. It can be canola, sunflower, or vegetable blend. Doesn't really matter. And then a whole cup of flour. Now this is the basis of what makes gumbo a gumbo. This is your roux. And I'm going to show you different stages of it because this does take a while to cook. It will take about 15 minutes to get the color we want on it. But flat whisk sighting, we're going to go ahead and get moving here. I want to show you kind of how it looks when it comes together. And we are going to cook this down. See, it's kind of pasty right now. We're going to give it time and let it cook, and I will show it to you in a few minutes. So I have this over medium-low heat, and notice there are little bubbles breaking the surface. That's exactly where you want it. If you cook it too fast, it will burn, so you've got to be careful with it. And I usually leave it for, a few minutes at a time, walk away, come back, stir, walk away, come back, stir. But if you're uncomfortable with this method and haven't done it before, stay put. Keep stirring. Okay, we are elapsed cooking time of 6 minutes. I want to show you, as it starts to cook, notice how much looser it is. It's not like paste anymore. It's much softer, much more liquidy. That is normal. You want it to do that. Now, we're not really browning yet. We're still kind of a pasty color. But that's what takes time. That's what you have to kind of watch. So every couple of minutes I come over here and I kind of pull back and try to see if we have, color forming on the bottom, because you don't want to overcook. And you want to make sure that you're hitting the corners and the edges and not having any spots burn. Okay. We are at 17 minutes of cooking time. And if you look, it is definitely brown, but it is not the right color brown. So you'll start to see it brown up. And right now it's kind of a, I don't know, what would I call this? Light hazelnut brown. You're going to want to take this all the way until it looks like chocolate. And what will start to happen is, and hopefully I'll catch it on video, you'll pull up from the bottom and you'll start to see these streaks of dark brown. That's when you know you're getting close. Okay, here we are at 21 minutes. And you see how it's getting kind of gloppy again? You see those brown streaks coming up? We are getting somewhere. Now, this is the stage where you need to keep an eye on it. If you've been walking away using it to the time to go ahead and shred your chicken or prep your okra if you're using any, now's when you need to go ahead and stop doing that and pay attention. Because it will go from this color, which I would say is medium brown, to chocolate very quickly. And if your heat's up too high, you will scorch it. Now, another thing, people ask all the time, well, why aren't you making this roux? Well, an oil roux, when you toast this flour, imparts a very specific flavor. And it's almost a nutty flavor that you really can't get any other way. So, yes, it's a little time consuming, but really it's 15, 20, 25 minutes depending on how comfortable you are. And I've been cooking this one a little slow for you guys. But it really does make a huge difference in the way your roux tastes. Now, there is authentic roux in a jar. I don't use it because I don't particularly like their flavor, but that's just my personal take. Okay, so into my pan I went ahead and added in my sausage. Let's see, it's in there now. And I'm going to go ahead and add my shredded chicken next. Now, this is the part where you get to be a little more fun. So I use 6 cups of chicken stock that have been freshly made and reduced. You see how thick this is? Well, we're going to cook it for another 30 minutes, and that's too thick for my taste. How about you? So we're going to go ahead and add about 2 cups of chicken stock, and you can use canned chicken stock for this, or you can use water. If you feel like your flavor is really condensed, you can use water. So I've added about 2 cups of stock in here now, and see how much easier that moves and how it's kind of like a soup. That's kind of where you want it. You don't want it thin, but you don't want it overly thick. Now, if you have okra that you want to add, now's the time to add it. If you're seafoody and you want shrimp in here, now's the time to add your shrimp, and I would add uncooked shrimp and let it cook in that stock and broth. It tastes so good. And then, these are my spices, as we discussed earlier, and in they go. Now, another word of advice. Tabasco, use it here. My stock was already Cajun spice, so I am not going to add Tabasco in here, but you can. Be aware that everything you do spice-wise multiplies and gets very, very hot very, very quickly. So I say go less spice now, add more down the road if you need it. And we're going to let this simmer over medium heat just till the bubbles barely break the surface for about 30 to 45 minutes. So we have cooked probably about 35 minutes. I turned it off a little bit ago because I had other things to do. And notice it's still steaming hot. Chicken is shredded, kind of falling apart. Everything looks nice and even and cooked. If you've got shrimp in here, or if you have okra in here, taste it for doneness, but it really should be done at this point. So what we're going to do next is I've got some rice I've cooked up. I'm going to plate it my little cheesy, cheap way. See, this is just a little cup measure. I blame New Orleans for this. That's how they do it. A little rice in the bowl. And we're just going to put this around. Oop, make a mess, like usual. And there you have it. 1 chicken gumbo, ready to go. And if you're super cheater, this recipe is about 40 minutes, including your roux. If you're a half cheater, this recipe is probably, depends on if you make your stock from scratch. It's an hour for your stock, then plus about 45 or so minutes to make your gumbo. This is Saucy Rebel wishing you a wonderful Mardi Gras week. Enjoy.